Good morning, everyone. How's it going? How's it going, B?
Good morning. How you doing, Mama?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Good, good. Good morning,
All
everybody, to the
right.
End of Season podcast. This is day 94 on a Saturday. I hear your spoon and your coffee already.
Yeah, I'm ready to get at it.
Ready to
What
get
are
at
we
it. Well, let
looking
me
like
get
for
this.
the?
Give it 1 second. I'm going to give you this stream key so we can get our folks on Instagram live up. I wish we could do it before so we have the most amount of time. But I hate it when we cut off on my Instagram, folks, man. So thank y'all for rocking with us on the other side on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, and for being patient with us, for being able to um, get this other stream going on. But it's on its way. How was your day yesterday? How did you find the book in your life yesterday?
Did I find the book in my life? I have the book in my life, and I'm
Like
reading
did
it.
like not
I'm
that, but I'm saying
reading
like
it.
did you find the passages that we went over
Oh,
yesterday? How did it pop up in your day?
um, I not so much yesterday. I was kind of very preoccupied. So not much
Hmm.
thought process about it yesterday, if I would be honest. So I didn't have
Yeah.
I did not that I didn't have takeaways. I just did not apply the book as much as I have been previously yesterday because my mind was
Uh,
occupied with what I was doing. I did a lot yesterday. So not so much yesterday.
Gotcha.
I mean, I still have it in my heart, but I did not think about it much yesterday. So
I
good
feel
morning,
as for
people.
me, I it's funny enough. That's the one show that my wife slept in on and didn't catch. So I got up. I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
hey, did you? Yeah, we were going through it. She actually grabbed the book yesterday in the room and she looked at today's passage and she was like, oh, I missed it. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's the one we
yeah,
were talking
yeah.
about marriage too. So I thought that was funny. So,
And that
it's
that
just
could be,
interesting.
yeah, that could be too, because y'all, that's just the communication part has been my life for a very long time, a very long time. So maybe yesterday was just, I don't know, maybe that's why I didn't think about that. But
Hmm.
so, you know, because it's like I do that daily anyway.
Right.
Very in tuned into how I communicate. I'm very intentional about what and how I say it. So maybe that's why.
So it's not gonna pop out as much to
Right.
you.
Right. Maybe
You're
that's why.
in that world every day.
Right. Because I'm used to it. I'm used
Interesting.
to being there in that season.
Interesting in that season. So welcome everybody again to the 94th installment of the In This Season podcast, where my mother, the beautiful host, the butterfly, and me, Brandon the Gladiator Gator, go through what we've been going through is Dennis Kimbro's Daily Motivations for African American Success, an incredible book I think published in the early '90s, encouraging uh, African Americans to be successful and breaking kind of the fortunes of race relations here and its impact on African Americans in America. But it's not just for African Americans. As far as I can't speak for the intention behind the book, but from what I'm noticing, the passages are very human things, but they are told through the context and through the narrative of the African American experience. So if you're here and you're African American, welcome. You're going to know exactly what we're talking about from normally from start to finish, with some of the colloquialisms and some of the sayings and some of the cultural references. But if you're not African American and you're here at the proverbial cookout, then grab a plate, sit down, ask any questions that you might have, but also look for the very human prospect of encouragement, the very human need for inspiration, and the very human passion and drive for success. So, a little bit about this book, Daily Motivations for African American Success, will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. It says that each affirmation in this valuable and thought provoking book takes only a few minutes to read, but is worthy of more time for contemplation. And he said, Dennis Kimbro, that is, said that if there's any power that can reverse the fortunes of race, it is character. Character. And every thought which enters our mind, every word we utter, and every deed we perform makes its impression on the innermost fiber of our being. The innermost fiber of our being. I want to give a congratulations to every single person that has bought the book and that has been coming here consistently, or have not, maybe not have seen, because I've heard this too. There are people that aren't able to make the live stream, but who do go back every single day, y'all, and watch the video. So this, to me, that's motivating. That's what keeps me getting up in the morning. I mean, yeah, there's enough here just for me, but I got the book, y'all. I got the book. I can read this every single day and not talk to a single person about it. But we wake up every morning because we know that there are other people that need these words, that need this encouragement, that need the type of support that I think is being provided through this channel. And if you know people that are like that, or if that's you, then keep coming and invite those people to join us, to participate, to comment, and to relate to us. And again, prepare for that 100th day coming up in just 6 days, where I think my mother has some special things planned for you all. So just to give you guys kind of a rundown of what to expect, and both today and in the future with the In This Season podcast. And we don't plan to stop this, y'all. We plan to keep this going and for it to grow into other lanes of expression, other lanes of social and character development. And we hope that you guys will join us as well. All right.
So, Brandon, for whatever reason this morning, the present moment and our own gifts stuck out. And so I'm going to ask the question, when or have you focused on, or do you focus on your present moment, your present moment? And do you know what your gifts are? Do you know what your gifts are? And I hope that you guys are contemplating on the questions that we put out there to you. So I just wanted to say that also before I forget, Brandon. So I talked about the cousin that I had breakfast with. I had a very, oh my gosh, it was a God moment. It was a God moment that we ended up having breakfast, just the two of us, because it was supposed to be more people, but it just ended up being us at my family reunion. So he's here. I got to spend last night.
What?
Yeah, he's here. And so I have been going out to Oakland for the last, feels like 10 days, but probably not. I don't know, off and on, but consistently for the last 5 days for sure. And I was passing right by where he was for the first day. But he got here on Thursday. We talked on Thursday, I think, afternoon or something like that. But he's here. And so it felt so awesome to just connect and hang out last night. So I went to bed pretty late. So I'm like, ooh, this
Where's is
morning.
he? How long is he staying?
He leaves tomorrow morning. So I
Oh,
just wanted to say, so this is the guy, Pearlie's is the restaurant I told you guys about in Albany, Georgia. So if you're ever in Albany, Georgia, please go support my cousin, and his wife is here. So
I would have loved
it was
to come
awesome.
see. I would
It
have
was
loved to come
awesome.
see him and see y'all. But I be having my hands full here. But it's good to know that he's here. Maybe I'll get to run into him before he leaves.
Yeah, it was awesome. Hopefully, I see him today. Maybe if you're not busy, you could see him as well. But
Yeah.
he is here. So it's good to have. It feels really good to have family and just hang out and I don't know. It just felt really good.
Mm,
Tired, but it felt really good to just hang out because we connected. It's just really good to connect with your cousins and family and realize when you tell each other your stories,
mm-hmm.
boy, does he have a story, a God story, y'all. And so it just feels good. It feels good. So I'm blessed. I feel really blessed.
Mm.
Um, just to was to be able to have that moment. So
It's
wanted to
interesting
get
how,
that out.
when you think about family, something just hits different
Yeah.
with family.
Yeah.
You can't explain it, but the thing is that you all are tied by the womb. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
You guys have ties by the womb, and I think that's very important. When your
Yeah.
mothers or fathers come from the same place, um,
Yeah.
and you're an offshoot, you're seeds from the same trees that have
Yeah.
grown your own.
Right. Right.
Even if you leave and have your own seeds, you guys come from the same place. And so when you come together with family, and it's good, it's not dysfunctional.
Mhm.
It's a peaceful thing. It's a godly thing. It's a thing where you both can grow and relate with each other. You have a story that you guys share. So you always have that same starting point, and then you guys can
Right.
catch up on where you're at now. So I mean, appreciate Cuz for being here. But let's jump right into it if you're good with that, man.
Yep. Yep. Good morning. Let's say good morning to everyone. Brenda Davis, KL, by way of Nelda Brown, Mike, Big Brother is out. Leander, welcome
What up,
back.
Big
Good to
Mike?
see you in the chat. Flav, your Flav from Guana. Good morning. And then
Oh,
Nelda Brown,
Flavia from
probably,
Ghana.
yeah, I call it
What's
Flav,
up,
yeah.
Flav?
Yep, sorry about that, yeah. So KL, sorry to hear about your family, your first cousin. We send prayers out to you. Um, know how that is. So we send prayers out to you and our condolences. And Mike does the same. Mike is saying, I don't know if you see it there, KL. Mike saying, sorry to hear that. My condolences and prayers go out to you and your family, as do ours. So as do from here too, Kevin. Thank you
Oh,
guys. So Brandon, anybody you want to give a shout out or
yeah.
give
Shout out
yeah.
to Kelvin who joined us. That's one of my brothers that went with me to Las Vegas for Danny's UFC um, debut and UFC Contender Series. So shout out to Kelvin. My other people, I've actually talked to some of them. They text me if they're not able to come. So I got a couple people that's going to be a little late, but that's how it usually is on a Saturday for me. All my
Yeah.
team, well, on Saturday they be sleep. So, but we got a couple people popping in and popping out. But I'll
Okay.
give them a shout out as they come in. All
All
right,
right.
well let's jump
Let's
right
do it.
into it. All right. So today's passage is called or titled A Real Basket Case. A Real Basket Case. And the distinguished African American is Naomi Sims, model and entrepreneur. Naomi said, opportunity does not send letters of introduction. Opportunity does not send letters of introduction. Your fortune or your future is bound in your present. Today's thoughts and actions will define your tomorrows. If you hold hopes of a better future, then you must change your thoughts today. Today is yesterday's tomorrow. How do you like today's experiences? Are they as good as you thought they would be yesterday? Actually, there is no such thing as tomorrow because today is always here. If you waste today, you'll waste tomorrow. As a rite of initiation, a
Mm.
tribal youth was given a basket and told to pick the finest ears of corn in a given row. The only requirement was that she was to choose as she went along. She could not retrace her steps. She admired the fine quality of corn before her. However, as she felt one ear after another, she left them on the stalks, always thinking that better ears lay ahead. Suddenly, to her dismay, she came to the end of the row and had gathered none of them. Without realizing it, her opportunities went fleeing before her. When you put off your good until a more opportune time or until tomorrow, just like this young girl, you are placing your treasures beyond your reach. Do not act as if you had thousands of years to live. Move now toward that which you desire most. I admit it's proper to plan ahead, but remember, all successful planning must be founded upon an appreciation of present opportunity. And that's the end. And the affirmation today that we read one time for me, one time for you, and one time for the person and people you're going to send this to. The affirmation is, I will take advantages. I will take advantage of my opportunities now. Second time, I will take advantage of my opportunities now. Young or old, male, female, no matter what place, shape, economic condition, whatever you're in, you can practice this affirmation today by saying, I will take advantage of my opportunities now. We all have opportunities. What are yours? Figure them out, take advantage of them. Mom, what's your interpretation of this message?
Oh boy, it's a good one. I
Yeah, it
didn't
is.
read this. Yeah, it is. It's interesting. A real basket case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as I thought about that, and the young lady girl walking through with her basket, seeing some good ones, seeing some good ears of corn, but always thinking, like it says here in the passage, there's something. There's a better. There's better going down. There's better ones on down the line. Not realizing that she's getting close to the end where she's not able to pick or select the choices. So the best choices. So making that applicable to life. How often do we walk through our life? That row is our life, right? And so many opportunities have come to us, towards us, for us, right? Because I truly believe that whatever it is that you ought to do, you should do. Is that how it says it? Because God has already, we were born for purpose. So we've missed a few good ears of corn in our lives, right? But
Yeah.
when do we learn the lesson? When do we realize that we are a real basket case and that our thoughts of there is more, there's something more and better than what I have right now, rather than thinking I'm blessed to have what I have now. I'm blessed to see this healthy corn before me. I can touch it, I can feel it. And also, what keeps me from getting it? What keeps me from taking action, having the ability to think through my best ear of corn that is right before me? That is right before me. The Waffle House. Why am I waffling over? I see it. I'm right here. I'm right here. And sometimes we could be so caught up in our future that we don't seize the day, the moment. As I started here, for some reason, the present moment, I don't know, Brandon, when you read it, just the present moment, because so often we're in the past,
Mm-hmm.
or we're so like what I did in the past, we're so caught up in what I did or what has happened in the past affecting our future. And if we embrace that, then we would take this present moment, this today, so that tomorrow will be different. And I shared that with the young man that I had the encounter with, that I asked you guys to pray with. I said, baby, just make good choices. Yes, because he said life is hard. And life is, as you're going down that row, trying to pick the best ear of corn, and you're seeing the ones that you in this case, this person can look back and see, but not go back. And we can't go back. We can make the best moment in that present moment. We can make the best choice in that present moment, but we can't go back. You can't go back. And remember, I said, if you keep going, even if you're moving slow, snail pace, you will get there. You will get there, but the time is now. The time is today. The time is on the road, being wise enough to say, yes, I'll pick this corn. I've touched it, I've felt it. I'm going to go with this one. No, this one's not the best one. But never getting to, we don't want to get to the end of the road. And Brandon, you said this, and I've heard it before, how people, the graveyard is the richest place. I've heard you say that, and I believe I've heard Mike say that as well, and many other people. But when you get to the end of the road, what's behind you is the richest place, because you can't go back and pick them up. You can't even go back and pick them up. So I like this. I've been that real basket case for sure. For sure. Did I recognize it in the time? Absolutely not. I didn't. In some instances, like the depth of that, I didn't. I thought I was good, lying to myself. Oh, I'm on the road. Oh, there's a better ear of corn down at the bottom. I'll keep going, if I even thought about that. So you could be so caught up. You could be the walking dead, dying to live. There's a lot of us dying to live. You're walking down that road, passing some good ears of corn, people, things, because you're afraid. You're afraid to make the decision now. Make the decision today that you can pick the best ear of corn before you get to the end of the road. Then you will have no regrets. Even if you picked it and it was a little bad, you still have some. Because sometimes you can cut an ear of corn in half and keep the best part of it, right? You don't have to have the whole thing. I've did that many times. So I've shucked some corn where, okay, this part's not good, but I still have quite a bit of good to do with it, because life's going to happen. Those seasons are going to come. Your winning season will come. The season will come where you have to you just have to pray your way through it, because your seed is not blooming anymore, right? So opportunity does not send letters of introduction. You have to be willing to fail, and you can't win or fail if you don't choose something. So over to you, Brandon.
Thank you for that, Mom. I appreciate it. I took a lot from what you said. One of the things that stood out to me was that the young woman in the story was tasked with finding the finest ears of corn. Not one ear of corn. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
So I think when we operate out of a place of scarcity, instead of operating out of a place of abundance, or then we can falsely perceive what's before us. So she walked through that whole row of corn, and she was supposed to pick the finest ears of corn. But what she did is she was looking for the finest ear of corn. And in doing so, and operating out of scarcity, thinking maybe there's just one out there that's just the prettiest, biggest 6-foot corn, 6 foot, 6-figure corn. Y'all feel me right now? Y'all see where I'm going with this? And you
Doped out car. Yeah.
Y'all passing out all these good brothers. Oh, excuse me, corn. So, and brothers, we ain't no better. There are good people out here, good women out here, good people to share experiences in life with, good God-fearing people, people with dreams, aspirations, that are educated, that are mild-mannered and nice-tempered. There are people out here. Don't take the real basket cases that you see in the media as a generalization for all men, for all women, for all people, for Black people, for white people, for Black culture, for white culture, for Mexicans, immigrants, whatever it is. Take people for as they are in the present moment. And if you are truly present, then you will do that. But if you're stuck in the past or something you've seen before, or something that they might remind you of, or something that you're projecting onto them from your past, right? Or a fear, insecurity about your own future, then you'll unknowingly, but definitely displace the present moment, displace the opportunities that exist in the human being and the opportunities right before your very eyes. Whether that person is the person you wake up to every morning and that you have been for the last 30 years or more, or if it's the person that you run into on the street, or the clerk, at the store, or the person that bags the groceries. It could be the trash man, it could be anyone. But if you are not present, and I mean truly present, and not projecting the past, or expecting certain things in the future, and being attached to those expectations, then I think we can miss it. So where I think the young woman messed up is that she was operating out of a
Mhm.
mind frame of scarcity, thinking I have to pick the finest corn, right? Not a fine corn. And how do this, right? This is from having an idea of what good corn looks like first, right? Having okay, I need a corn that's this size, that's this wide, that's husk is this color, that whose stalk is this tall, right? If you have those, has reached a good place of maturity, if you have those kind of prerequisites, then whatever corn that you pick may not meet that every single part of that prerequisite. But if it meets 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 7, then I think that's a corn that should be picked, you know, as you make your way to the end of the row, instead of looking for that one corn that you might get at the end. And I'll be quite frank. I'll be quite frank. And time operates very differently, in my opinion, for brothers versus my sisters, especially when it comes to family, to having and starting families. I will say to all of us, we need good families. Yeah, your education is great. I'm talking to men and women. Yeah, all this, I need to buy this and get this and go here. All of that is great. But you know what the world needs and you need? Family. Like my
Mhm.
mother started this whole thing with. There's a connection that you have with family that is unlike any other connection. The ties of the womb are knots that are not easily broken, not
Mhm.
easily untied, right? And even if you start with the knots in the front, you got a whole lot of knots in the back to go through, because y'all are still connected by the next knot. Y'all are still, even though if y'all strings have, if you have a bunch of knots and you take out that first knot in order to get to the next, you got another knot and another knot. And that's how family is. And by the end of it, you realize y'all were the same string anyway. So you
Mhm.
ain't going nowhere at the end of the day. So, all of that to say, from what I get from this, I need to make a little more reference to it, but don't operate out of a form of scarcity, because once you do, you're displacing where the scarcity really is. The scarcity is in the ever fleeting now,
Let's be
the
right.
ever passing moment. That's the only scarcity, is that this moment you will never get back. Who's to say that you make it to the end of the row? What a real basket case it is to go through a full row of corn and to get to the end and have nothing to show for it. And the best of us are those who prepare for the end of the road as much as they prepare for the journey through the row. So, how many of us have put something up for the hereafter? How many of us
Hmm.
have stored something, who have given God a good loan? Hmm? How many of us recognize how fleeting this temporal moment is, right? Because surely man is at a loss when it comes to time. right? Surely man is at a loss because they never possess it, So something like that.
So, Brandon, I think you made
Oh
a
man,
really good point here as it relates to the
I'm gonna
ears.
mute you for 1 second, but I can hear you. But I got my cat's at my window outside, so I'm just
Okay,
she'll
okay,
be bugging us, but I can hear you.
okay.
Give me one.
We can't hear. Is it
Oh,
Sage? Of course, it's Sage, right?
can you hear her? Wait,
Now I
no.
can. Is it Sage?
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course. Yeah. Yeah,
Sage.
Sage is that. Y'all, Sage is human. I'm not lying to you. Sage is human.
Go to the door.
Y'all have heard us talk about Sage, but I
All
think
right.
it's really important that we understand. It says the finest ears of corn, and there was no limit. The young girl was not given a limit. It didn't say like the finest 3 ears. And think about that, to have no limit put upon you based on this exercise. Why? What would make a person not pick one before getting to the end of the road? And think about some of the things that you perhaps have said, I'm going to do. I want to start a business, whatever. I want to do something. And you get to, I don't know, some months, years down, and you're like, I never did it. I never even started it, right? I never even picked one ear of corn on the assignment, on my personal assignment. And then it starts out saying, your future is bound in your present. Today's thoughts and actions, today's thoughts, you guys, and actions will define your tomorrow. What will you do today? What will you do today? What did you do yesterday that is defining? It's pretty early now, but as you go about your day, what did you do yesterday on that row? Which ears did you pick? Did you pick any? Did you pick up anything that will feed your goal and your plan? Or did you just get caught up and distracted in the day? And now it's tomorrow. Today is tomorrow of yesterday, right? And the same, it keeps going on and on. And at some point, we have to say, in this case, can't go back. We can't go back. But guess what? If she got to the end, I wonder, or guess not, did she even pick the one at the end, whether it was good or bad, in her opinion? Because you can get some corn off of it. It doesn't sound like there was any, I would have picked all of them. Oh, I can pick all the good ones. So, like Brandon said, who determines good or bad in my picking of the corn? Because I might see, again, there's a section on it that's bad, but there's also a section on it that's good. And I can get a few pieces of corn out of this one. And so this is good. Let's stop and reflect. Are you a real basket case right now in your life? Waffling, what to do, not necessarily how to do what you need to do. Because sometimes that's the real thing, not what to do, how to do it. Because I feel like we always know, we have the answers. We're just afraid. We're fearful of making a choice and it not being the right choice. So we waffle. Remember that one, Waffle House? If you've been walking with us, Miss Brenda, I'm sure you remember that one. Being afraid to make a decision and sticking with it. Because if it turns out bad, certainly there was some good in it. Certainly there's some good in it. Some good comes out of everything, you guys. I really believe that. I really believe that. And at some point along this road, if we should see that, hey, the end is closer than my past, right? I'm further down this road. So let me start picking some things up. Let me start picking some things up. Because we do have to pick some things up. Period. Period. So Brandon, I like this one. I just kind of focused on your talking about ears of corn rather than, he didn't say one, he said many.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. I would have picked, it probably would have stopped me because I'm like, oh, I see good on half of this one. So I can get that, I can make that work and just tear it off. Pick them all. Because they all can't be all bad.
Right.
They all can't be all bad. But your mindset can be of a scarcity one. Sometimes we've been hurt so bad and we feel like all of our decisions have been the wrong decision. And even that is in your thought process as it talks about it here. So a man thinketh, so is he. You know, when we are out in the field and I'm talking to people about winning the windows and or doors, it is truly a free, it's a drawing that you enter. And so often, many times over, people will say, oh, I'm not going to win. And I said, oh, well, you don't need to sign up because you're not. Let somebody else just save the energy. And they'll laugh and they get it, right? So if you're not going to win, why are you signing up? If that's already your thought process, if you're not going to pick the right ear of corn, the best ear of corn, then just tell them, I can't do this. I don't know how to pick the best. Can you show me what the best corn looks like? Give me an example before I head down this road. Or are we so egotistic that we don't even want to say, um, I don't know what the best corn looks like. I was talking to a lady the other day and she told me what she used to do in her life. And I actually wrote it down. The old Tammy would, be in her ego and act like, because she looked at me like, you should know what that is. And I'm like, what is that? I don't know everything. I don't know. And I'm not going to sit here and act like it anymore. No, tell me, what did you do? What's the name of it? I wrote it down on my notes and wanted to look it up because it was a field that I had never heard of before. Never heard of before. And
What
basically
was
what
it?
she did, basically what she did was in the lab, like she would, let me say the name of it. How about that? Let me just tell you guys. But she would examine the tissue and prepare it for whomever is going to be looking at it under the microscope. So
Mm.
there was things that she did. I'm going to try to find it, you guys, because I
It was like
thought
a
I
lab
can share
technician
this.
kind of thing.
It wasn't that. It was a really
Mm.
weird name to the point. Hemo. Okay, y'all keep talking, Brandon. I'll find it because I wanted to put it
Hemo.
in my
Hemo.
notes.
That's from. She does something with blood.
Yeah, but it was deeper than that. And they call it a different name. But I wanted to share it with young people because again, as far as these, I'm going to find it. As far as these, maybe I can do it by the date. As far as these young people, there's things that careers that they've never heard of. So,
Was it a hematologist?
I
No.
don't think so.
Okay.
I'll find it. You talk on and get ready to
Yeah, that's
close
all
this
I
out.
really had for as far as the interpretation of the passage, man. It's just that don't get to the end of the road and have not picked out your opportunities and taken advantage of the opportunities that are before you. Opportunity does not send letters of introduction. They aren't going to say, hey, it's me here. I'm the opportunity that you need. I'm the one that's just for you. They will pass you by like a destination that you didn't have the address for, right? So figure out where your location is, right? Nell just said, I don't know if you read this one where it says location is important, but timing is
Yeah.
everything. I like
Yeah, I
that.
put
I
it
like
out
that.
there for that reason. Yeah, I love that. That's KL. He is Nelda this morning by way of Nelda Brown, but that's KL.
Wow. Wow. And your future is bound in your present. I like that part, that today's thoughts and actions define your tomorrows. Today is yesterday's tomorrow, right? Today is yesterday's tomorrow. How do you like today's experiences? Are they as good as you thought they would be yesterday? And actually, there's no such thing as tomorrow because today is always here. If you waste today, you will waste tomorrow. Don't you hate that feeling when you get to the end of the day and you didn't do anything of merit? Now, don't get me wrong. There are days when I choose to do nothing. I choose today, I'm going to sit my butt down because the opportunity that I have today is the opportunity to rest, right? But for the majority of days, there's something to do. There's something to be seized. There's something to be shared. There's something to be acquired. There's something to learn. There's something to experience. And we should wake up every morning with good expectations and in a good disposition about what is before us. Because there's a lot of people who did not wake up today. There's a lot of people who didn't have a heartbeat today. So God has done his part. You woke up today. Now you go do yours. And if you're taking advantage of the present moment, remember, time is like sand slipping through our hands. Eventually, we'll get to the end of this thing that we call life. And
So
what
Brandon
will you
is a
have to show?
histotechnologist.
A what?
His
A
histo
histotechnologist?
histotechnologist.
Okay. Okay.
And now it's called histology.
Okay.
Yeah. So y'all look it up and share it with these young people as you come across them. But histotechnologist.
So she
So
she manages basically the technology for the doctors to come use and interpret. Like she sets everything up basically, like the woman that puts the little blood in the little spinny thing, and then
yeah.
or
Yeah,
man,
she
and
was
then
saying from surgery, she takes so whatever like is taken from surgery. So like if they're going to do a biopsy, and so they bring that into them, and then they would do whatever, prepare it so that it goes to another place to be reviewed. Whether it's cut some of the tissue out, it's very particular, and it was
interesting.
very interesting. And so my one of my points there was, like the young man that in one of the stories that asked the question of the CEO, he wasn't afraid to ask. And it stuck out to me that day that I didn't pretend that I knew what that was, because my ego used to be like, oh yeah, is that what you do? I was like, what? You do what? What is that? you know? So,
And think about it, if
um,
you don't know, then there might be a young person that has an interest in something, or
right,
like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna major in. I don't really want to do this, but I want to do this. And then you could be like, you could be a histotechnologist.
right.
And
Yeah.
they'd be
They
like,
might like
what?
playing with stuff. Like you might meet a child that likes, I don't know, looking at something, but it's learning. That's what it is. It's opening yourself. It's being open to knowing that, to learning that the more that you know or learn, you realize how much you don't know. I'm 56 now. Never heard of his. I've never heard of it. Never
It
even heard of
probably,
it.
who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. And she's retired from it. So it started out when she was doing it, histotechnologist, but she's retired. She was an elderly lady. So this has been around for quite a while. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah. It's so many little parts and jobs that are required to be, doctors and physicians and the support that they have. So shout out to all the first responders out there, man, especially the doctors. Y'all are, and the firefighters. Y'all are the real ones to me. So but that's all I have for you today, Mom. I don't want to keep this too long.
Yeah.
Is there
I'm
anything in the
great. I'm
comments?
great. There is, I don't think we have any more. KL was telling us oncologist, but no, that wasn't, thank you, but that wasn't her field, her line of work. My takeaway, or you guys, I'm just going to say, don't be intentional about not getting to the end of the row
Yeah.
of the corn, to
Yeah.
your end. And remember, today is your tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today is your tomorrow. And what is it, Brandon? Plan as you are going to live, as you're going to die tomorrow. Plan as you're going to live forever.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
And
So
there's one.
pick your corn, pick your ears of corn.
And don't place your treasures beyond your reach by thinking that there's going to be a more opportune time than right now. The best and most opportune time is right now, the present moment. So don't put your treasures beyond your reach by pushing the time when you take advantage of these opportunities and your own gifts to a later date. Take advantage of them right now, even if
Yeah.
it's just a little bit. Do something. If there's a goal that you have and you said, and you can say without a shadow of a doubt, this is my goal, this is what I am to do, this is where I'm going, then you should do something every single day. I don't care I don't care what it is. If you're, for me, for example, if I'm a fighter, I like to do I like MMA. every single day. If it ain't nothing but jumping rope, if it ain't nothing but watching film, if it ain't nothing but going back and looking at my old fights or reviewing a technique, something can be done. So do that today. Take advantage of your opportunities now. All right.
Okay,
So,
Brandon.
mhm,
And if somebody will remind us tomorrow, if we forget, we were supposed to take about 5 minutes to go over why don't we ever talk. You were going to break down the recipe.
that's
So
right.
let's try to do that tomorrow, and y'all help us remember. I'll try to put something in the notes that help me. But Miss Brenda, Mike, KL, if you come back with us, remind us to give a little bit of attention to yesterday's why don't we ever talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Also,
I
Friday
thought that was
is
interesting. I thought that recipe was
it,
interesting.
it, it is. So we'll come back and spend maybe five. I'll have a lot more time tomorrow. So we'll spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes on that and then jump into our day
5.
95, day 95. Interesting thing, you guys. The 100th day is Friday. Friday is the 10th.
Hmm.
I don't know why. When I was
That's
looking at that,
Mexican Mother's Day.
wow.
May
Mexican
10th.
Mother's Day.
Mexican Mother's Day. Their Mother's Day is on May 10th.
I don't think you ever told me that.
Is that right? I didn't know to tell you.
Well, shouldn't I be honoring Sella a little bit, something on that day?
Sure. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, that's not your mother, but I appreciate that, and I think that's beautiful
She's
that
the
you wanna.
mother of the grandbabies.
I know, I know, I know. That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, go for it. I ain't gonna. I mean, I'm with it, and I'm sure she would appreciate it. But yeah, actually, my mother-in-law is in town now. She just got in town, I think, yesterday. So we'll be celebrating some with her from now until Mexican Mother's Day. So
Okay.
that'd be cool.
All right. So y'all plan to be with us Friday. And remember the goals. Remember to write your goals down and be ready to share if just a line or two of them. Right. And we're
Mhm.
gonna we're gonna have some fun on Friday.
I think it'll be cool to pull people in and like let's just talk to people and get them on the chat too or on the podcast. I
On
want to
the
see people's
screen.
faces. I want to
Hey,
I want to talk to y'all. Who wants to come in live and let's chat a little bit. We'll pull you in, take you out. Everybody be respectful and understand that we're probably going to go through people kind of quickly just to make sure that we get everyone that wants to speak and say something. But if y'all are down with that, I would love to interview
let
and
us
talk.
know right away because it's going to take time behind the scenes. There's a lot of work to be done for some of the things that I'd like to do on that day. So if you're up for that, let us know sooner than later. Brandon, on your end,
Yep.
sooner than later. By tomorrow, that'd be great because I'll start working on this tomorrow night. Okay.
Sounds
Because there's
good.
some things I
Sounds
want to
good.
do that I have to learn to do for that day. So
All right. Well, y'all.
Nelda Brown says, count me out. No, Nelda Brown, you're not coming on. Is that what that means? What about you, Miss Brenda? Big Mike, Leander, if you're out there, Flav. So let us know. Send me a message or drop it in the comments of this video. Drop it in the
Yeah.
comment of this video. That would be great.
Yeah. Flavia, I would love to have you up here all the way from Ghana, man. It would be good to see you. Um, but yes, guys, today is the 94th installment, and we went over the passage titled A Real Basket Case. A Real Basket Case. And Naomi Sims, the model and entrepreneur, is our distinguished African American who said, opportunity does not send letters of introduction. And after the reading of the passage and going through some takeaways from that passage, the affirmation at the end that we read 3 times, one time for you, one time for me, and one time for the person and people you're going to send this to, says, I will take advantage of my opportunities now. I will take advantage of my opportunities now. And last time, I got a couple people just coming in on the chat. Femi Congolese 96 joined us. Appreciate you coming in from Congo. For the last time, say this out loud or inwardly. I will take advantage of my opportunities
Opportunities
now. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Sorry for the people that just came in a little bit late. We are here every single morning at the top of this hour. So it's 7 a.m. here in Memphis, Tennessee. But wherever you are around the world, remember this hour. At the top of this hour, we are here every single morning. So join us for tomorrow's 95th installment of the End This Season podcast with me, the Gladiator. I'm the co-host, and the beautiful, lovely, dynamic, transformative, inspirational Tammy, the butterfly. That woman right there, my beautiful mother. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bring your thoughts, your dreams, and your goals. Write them down. Let's hear about it. All right, take care, y'all. Peace.
Peace.